Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about why periods are gross, okay? It just comes down to the fact that periods are blood, okay? A lot of guys don't want to hear people or women, anyone really, not just women, but a lot of guys don't want to hear about people bleeding. It's kind of gross. A lot of people don't want to hear about people bleeding, you know? That's the case. Like, I'm smart, but because I don't, I'm not comfortable around the idea, you know, I'm not a medical provider. I'm not. I don't have the maturity to be a medical provider. I don't have the right mentality to be a medical provider. I have the intelligence, perhaps, but I have to, I don't know if it's maturity or not, but I realize I am not suited to be a medical provider. Even if I have the intelligence, I don't have the mental state. If I really wanted to, I could probably adapt my mind to it. That would take a long time, and I'm not naturally suited to be a healthcare provider. I'm not. I'm just not. So I've decided, I'm not going to be. I don't have the right mentality. If I don't like periods, I'm not cut out to be a medical provider. That's all there is to it. Does that mean I can't be trained in first aid and CPR? No, because I've been in a situation where someone's life was on the line, and yeah, in that case, if there's blood like that, it's an emergency situation. You've got things you care about much more than that. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. That's just why periods are gross. That's why, because it's blood. At the same time, there's sort of an equivalent with guys and women. It's very common for guys going through puberty, for them to have a little bit of semen come out in the morning or during the night. They're called nocturnal emissions. Believe it or not, there's no evidence between nocturnal emissions and, erotic dreams. There's never been found any link. So I don't know why nocturnal emissions occur. Maybe they have a theory or hypothesis as to why. I'm not sure, but it's nocturnal emissions. There's a little bit of semen coming out in the night while teenage guys sleep. Okay, it's normal. It's completely normal. But does that mean that girls and women shouldn't find it gross? No, if it's something guys deal with, but seriously, women are completely okay with thinking it's gross because, believe it or not, there are functions of the body that the average person would find gross. That's the equivalent. Now, have I ever had to deal with a period of strangers? Actually, I have. I used to do light janitorial work, and yeah, sometimes there were cases where you had tampons and pads I had to dispose of in the biohazard bag, and because, it's biohazard. It's just the case, because it's blood. Any bodily fluid like that is considered a biohazard, so, get rid of it in the biohazard bin. Don't make a big deal of it. Don't talk. Nope, just take care of it, put it away. Big problem is people kept putting stuff on top of the biohazard bin, so I had to go every time. I had to go get someone to take that stuff off of the biohazard bin, because if I touch whatever's on top of it, now that's contaminated. People are like, just take it off, just take it off. They didn't understand, no matter how many times I told them that I had a biohazard on my gloves, and if I touch whatever it is with that, with those gloves, then that thing's now contaminated. Plus it had a little foot lever that pop open the lid, so I didn't have to touch it. But, yeah, it's like, what the heck? Seriously? Anyway, so I just took care of it, and I mean, finally, we had managers keep talking about it until finally, people stop putting stuff on top of the biohazard bin for the most part. But yeah, although one coworker said just push this package off with my leg onto the floor, and I told her, it's a return package. I don't know what's in there. I don't know if it's a fragile item. If it's a fragile item, I could have easily broken it, and then it would have been on me. I don't know what's in that package. So, plus I shouldn't have to do it because people are making a mess, and now I'm cleaning up their mess. I shouldn't have to do it. But as far as dealing with the periods, period material, the pads and tampons, I just took care of it. I mean, there's no point in making a big scene out of it because let's face it, it's just part of what women deal with. Women deal with it, and I'm just gonna take care of it and not cause a commotion or anything. I mean, I might find it a little gross, but I'm wearing, protective gloves, exam gloves to keep my hands clean. So it's like, oh well, just take care of it, And let's face it, periods for women, it's not like they're like clockwork. Some women, you could go a long time, and all of a sudden, boop, surprise. Some women do it all the time. I mean, it's just where some women are. They can't really predict them. It's just boop, boop, boop. All of a sudden, it just comes out of the blue. And then even with women that are very regular, even so to speak like clockwork, they can have a surprise all of a sudden occur. And then you got things like stress, all kinds of stress, like, sleep deprivation, schedule change, eating food, and even women around them that have children. There are a lot of things that can throw off a woman's schedule, so it's like they can't just, choose when to use them, when not to. And also, people might think, well, why don't they, take care of it at home? Well, from what I understand, tampons can only be left in, the vagina for, a maximum of 6 hours. So if they're working like an 8-hour shift, at some point they're going to have to, replace it. At some point they're going to have to replace it. That's, otherwise they get like toxic shock or something, and it can kill. So in all seriousness, it's like, I mean, sorry about that. You're going to have to take it out at some time. Women are going to have to take it out. That's just a fact. So there's that. I know there's going to be some guys out there saying, well, they just put in their purse or something. It's a bloody object. It's like, it's not reasonable to ask a woman to have something bloody in their purse. It's like guys having something bloody in their pocket. It's not right, So, I mean, no matter what, it's very likely, a woman's gonna have to put it in the restroom, take care of the restroom, and of course they take care of the restroom because it's privacy. So yeah, that's why periods kind of gross, but at the same time, you kind of have to deal with it. And yeah, it's a gross thing, but there are things about the body that are gross. So now if I had a significant other, which, let's face it, that kind of happen no matter what I do, would I help with that? Yeah, I probably wouldn't be too grossed out because, I mean, I know her, and I would know that, the blood isn't, contaminated, or gotta get me a sickness or whatever disease. But it's kind of like, I don't know if whoever's putting it in there is gonna give me disease. Not to mention, it's all that blood stuff's in the bathroom when, bathrooms have a lot of germs, so yeah. And with that said, I wanted to discuss that. So maybe women will understand a little bit about why guys sometimes think periods are gross. Anyway, see ya. Why won't this stupid thing stop? I'm pressing the thing over and over again.